Today we will continue to discuss about the mathematics of numbers. And especially on this day we will see the projection of a number. We learned already last time that a number can be accelerated, decelerated, or expanded. And this time we will see that a number can also be projected. This idea started with an observation since I was 5 years old. I was observing people building houses with bricks. Then I was so much interested in what they did when they are putting the bricks on top of each other. And there I realized that after they laid the foundation, they will put first one brick. Then if they want to put a second brick on top here, they will put first another brick there, then the second brick. This it's because in principle each brick must be supported by 2 bricks below. Therefore, if they want to put a third brick on top, they will go again to the first row, add 1 brick, second row, and then the third row. Brick number 4, they will go 1, 2, 3, 4. Brick number 5 will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So by the end of the day, you will see that there will be always these stairs left here. And the next day, when they come to start again, they will do the same, going down from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, etc. Through the years, I was thinking that this brick number 5 cannot be there without all of these bricks below it. So this brick number 5 is supported by brick number 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, I came to realize that the value of a brick on the wall depends on all the bricks below it. It means you see the brick number 5 here. This brick cannot be there without all these bricks below. So number 5 is supported by all of these bricks. Therefore, number 5's value includes all the bricks below it. Number 4 will include all these bricks below it. Number 5, as you see, is supported by 14 bricks if you count them. There are 14 bricks here. And number 4 is supported by 9 bricks if you count them very well. Number 3 supported by 5 bricks below. So this is the principle. This is the law that works here. Another thing that I observed is that the brick number 5, as it is here, this brick, imagine that it wants to be there, because when we build the house, we are trying to reach a certain level to cover the space. So because we want to reach this level, what is important for us is the last brick. And for that brick, imagine if there was no gravity, then the brick will be floating in the air. But as soon as gravity comes in, then this brick will crash to the floor. And because this brick must be there, must survive, then what the brick has to do, the brick has to find a way to build a stand for itself. It needs first 2 bricks, because that's the law. The 2 bricks will need 3 bricks. 3 bricks will need 4 bricks. And 4 bricks will need 5 bricks until we reach the floor. So the law that works here is the law of n plus 1. Therefore, we say that brick number 5 has projected itself to the floor through all these bricks, and now it is touching the floor with 5 bricks. So here is only 1, but when it reaches the floor, it becomes 5. And all of this is part of this 5. As a matter of fact, if we consider Newton's laws, then you will see that this brick is exercising a certain force on all the bricks below it. And this force is traveling through the bricks. As it goes down, of course, it's being channeled and it occupies more space. But in terms of strength, in terms of energy, the force becomes smaller in every location. And this is a principle that exists in light. So when you have light, the source of light, as you get away from the source of light, the light gets weaker and weaker. The intensity of light will reduce. Sound is the same. As soon as you start getting far away from the source of the sound, then the sound will, and that's the law that works here. So what we are interested in here is how many locations. We are not interested so much in this energy, whatever. It will come maybe in the future. But right now, what we want to see is the fact that this brick can be in many locations at the same time. In many locations at the same time. So this is what is important to us, because scientists always talk about electrons and particles that can be in many places at the same time. And they think that objects cannot do that. But recently I read on the internet that a discovery, an experiment has been conducted in Vienna University and Tel Aviv University, where they tried to let molecules pass through the slits, and they realized that even molecules can be in many places at the same time. So now here we are taking you to the 2 extremities of nature or the universe. We are talking about the bricks, which represent the solid things like planets, stars, and whatever. And also we are talking about numbers. Numbers are more fundamental than electrons, than particles. So here is a great revelation that is being given to us, that even bricks can be in many places at the same time. A third finding of the observation is that the projection itself begins with 1. What does it mean? If you have these bricks here on this level, before the number that was written here was 1, 1, 1. Anyway, that was our start. But the true value of these bricks on the floor is just 0. Why? Because we can't project them. In order to have a projection, we need a space between the brick and the floor. So we have 1. Do not ask me why, what about if 0 point? No, we are talking about 1 as one of all the dimensions that you can imagine. So we go from the Planck scale to the biggest. 1 has no size. To say 1 has no size. 1 can be the universe, 1 can be, so 1 can represent anything. But what we are talking about here, that as long as we have a space between the floor and the brick, then we can talk about projection. If there is no space, the value there of the projection is 0. So here we say that because of that, only the second row here will be recorded as 1. The third row will be 2. The fourth row will be 3. And the fifth row will be 4. So the value of this brick is 4. And if you consider it as we talk about the projection, that it is now falling to the ground, then in order to reach the ground, this must make 4 steps. This brick must make 4 steps. It makes 4 steps because of its value, which is 4, because of the number. So this number is very much related with the brick itself, because of its value 4. So it can make 4 steps. So now we know that 0 cannot be accelerated, decelerated, expanded, or projected, or even exploded. We cannot do that with 0. Everything begins with 1. So let's see now exactly how the projection of a number in 1 dimension works. So the projection we are going to see right now is just 1 dimension, as we have seen with the bricks. That's the same projection we see here. But for number, how does it work? We saw number 4 has to decelerate itself, because all the values from 4 must come out. Then how many steps number 4 can go? Number 4 can only go 4 steps. We saw already that to decelerate or accelerate a number, even expand a number, we do it only according to the number itself. So as many times as the number itself, that's what I mean. And here we have this number 4. It gives us 5 locations. So it means if you have number 4, you project it, you have only 5 locations that will appear on the floor, on the wall, on the screen, whatever is your target. So when you project it, it will go and touch the target in 5 locations only, as we have seen. And then we can calculate, we say that that projection works this way, that the number of locations will be n plus 1. But now, when it comes to the value as such, the energy or the mass or anything, because we are not really specific in something here. This is information. So when it comes to the value itself, then to calculate that, we have to decelerate the n plus 1. We decelerate n plus 1. Decelerate means we go from that n plus 1 down to 0. And we see the formula is that the deceleration of n, or of a number, equal to the number times the number plus 1 divided by 2. And here we apply it. The deceleration of 4 plus 1 equals plus 1 multiplied by 4 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 2. That's 5 times 6 divided by 2, or 30 times 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So this is about deceleration of a number. And let's see the property that works here, what it teaches us. We say that what we are interested in this study of the projection is the number of locations that a number can provide when it is projected. So in one dimension, to do that, we say that in order for us to have all the values out, we decelerate the number, and it gives us n plus 1. For example, here we see, so we go from that brick number 4, which is like this, 1. Then if we have to reach 5 locations, there is no leap. In quantum mechanics, an electron or a particle can move from a location to from an orbit to another. Electron can move from an orbit to another just as it wishes. But here it is not like that. Here the law of numbers is that in order for this number to increase its value or increase its number of locations, it must pass through the whole way. Starting with 1, it has to pass through 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what we saw for the bricks. We saw that the brick here needs 2 bricks, then 3 bricks, 4 bricks, and 5 bricks in order to reach it. So you cannot jump. The reason we have studied all of this as a projection of a number is because we want to know how many possibilities we will have when we let a particle travel. And the number gives us, because so far scientists in the double slit experiment, they came with the findings that they have to use probabilities. Yes, but those probabilities, although they have done well so far, but they still have a problem. They still have a problem. And to resolve that problem, we are studying the numbers, how the numbers work. Numbers will tell us in 1 dimension, in 2 dimensions, and in 3 dimensions what will be the results. So next, we will be studying the 2-dimension projection. Thank you.